Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 3. Today, we're going to be looking at social media addiction and how that affects our lives every day, which I'm sure it affects most people who listen to this. And also going to be delving into the wonderful world of feminism. Touchy subject.
Oh,
So, I guess we'll start off with the social media side of things.
mm.
How often would you say you look at your socials in a day?
Oh, ridiculous amount of times. Is there a way to check? I think there is a way to check on our phone, is there? Like phone
Yeah, it's like
usage.
times 10. I turned that off. So, it was just depressing me.
Really? How often do you
Yeah.
look at phone?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't had it on for well over a year now. It was over lockdown,
Okay.
when there was literally nothing else to do, um, other than just browse socials. Because everyone was
Yeah.
like a creative master during lockdown. TikTok was like everyone suddenly turned into just expert level creators and things like
Yeah.
that. People were doing like Gordon Ramsay level chef stuff.
Yeah.
So people were just watching all that kind of thing because people were just bored of watching repeats on TV, and Netflix had been completely
Yeah.
deaf because all the
Yeah.
TV series dried up and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I turned that side because it was getting ridiculous. It was a few hours a day. I mean, the one you don't realise you do a lot is WhatsApp. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
technically classed as social, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't really see it as a social media channel, but it technically is. But by far, that is the one I use the most.
Yeah.
Because you're just constantly chatting to your mates. So
Yeah.
I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Is that social media though? Because it's like it's just a way of communicating with your friends, just like how we used to call. Like we just used to call our friends instead of like.
Yeah, true. Or you'd go like via MSN back
Yeah.
in the day. So
Yeah.
you sit on instead of your phone, you sit on a computer screen for like
Yeah.
6, 7 hours after school, just chatting to
Which is
people.
probably worse.
Yeah, exactly. Um, Now I guess because you say you use socials, but the issue is your phone. I think
Hmm.
it's just being on your phone because everything's on it now, right? Because
Yeah.
there's a good like photo, something a meme of like how everything used to be separate. So you'd have like a video camera, and then you'd have
Yeah.
a camera, and then you'd have a calculator, and then you'd have a even like a spirit level thing, or like what else have we got on here? Loads of shit.
Spirit level,
A
just in
clock,
case.
yeah, a
Yeah.
calendar. What else? Uh, Maps. You'd have a massive like book of to read when
Yeah.
you're in a car.
A
Because
to Z.
now, yeah, literally everything is on it. So it's
Yeah.
like no wonder we use it all the time because everything
Yeah.
we need is literally on it.
Banking on your phone.
Yeah, banking, checking the train times, ordering food.
Oh god,
Like,
yeah.
literally-
Literally everything.
yeah, and it's kind of I do get annoyed at it. When you pick up your phone for the 100th time, you're like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes later, you're flicking through like the 100th video on TikTok.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, you
like,
use TikTok a lot, right? More so than Instagram?
yeah, Instagram's kind of dead now for me. It's kind of just screenshots of Twitter. People
Right.
just screenshot statuses and things, and it's just memes that have come from Twitter. Twitter's probably my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah.
It's because I like the liveness of it. It's
Yeah.
quite instant.
Real time.
Yeah, real time. TikTok I only use when I have a bit of downtime because you have to have sound on. Um, it's a wanky phrase from our industry. Uh, and because on the train you kind of have to be a bit careful what you're watching because something dodgy might come up, and if someone on the
Yeah.
train's peering over, you're like,
Yeah.
I promise I'm not a weirdo. It's just on my For You feed. Didn't choose to come up.
Yeah. I can't imagine what sort of content that you get
I
sort
get
of
a lot of space stuff, space related things, football related things.
yeah.
Um, it's just if you watch one thing and then you'll get served the whole bunch of it. Well,
Yeah.
you can just follow. You can just watch who you follow,
Yeah.
but then no one's. It's weird because no one's really on it. Do you know what I mean? Like your friends are all on Facebook and Instagram.
Mm.
Like people have accounts, but they don't create stuff. They don't make videos because it
Yeah.
is a lot of time and effort. I've made a few, but it's
Yeah.
mainly for like football related stuff. Um, and it's good. Like my last video, I think I got like 3,500 views, nearly
Whoa.
4,000 views, and it's a shit video. It's literally I just went to
Whoa.
Leeds away game, did like a few like camera shots here and there of the ground and inside the ground. Nothing groundbreaking. Like 3,500
Wow.
views. Jesus, call me an influencer.
Literally, you are TikToker.
Yeah, but then I've only got like 26 followers, so it's great. It's pointless.
Bloody hell. Yeah, I think I only follow you on TikTok because I don't really use TikTok. But
Yeah,
obviously, because of this pod, I've started to create a few videos here and there, and just the amount of people that watch our videos is like, what the hell? There's nothing to
yeah,
it.
and I can see why that would make people get addicted to it, because you see those numbers coming in, and you're like,
Mm.
whoa. It was like back when Instagram first started out, and you used to get was it? It's always been love hearts, is it? I swear it used to be something else. But anyway, like you used to get above 11.
Likes?
Yeah, I used to get above 11. It changed to like a solid two-digit number rather than like
Yeah.
people's names. And you're like, oh, made it.
Yeah. Oh God.
It's that gratification, isn't it? Of getting the likes and the followers.
Yeah. Because I think with I don't actually count how many times I pick up my phone or whatnot, but I know it's always there with me. I always have it there.
Mm.
Like whether, and even more so now because every time I feed Lara, I'm always tracking it, always time it, and then nappy
Oh, right.
change, put it in. So I've always got my phone somewhere with me. I don't know. It's just the thought of not having my phone. I
Yeah.
get a little bit like I feel a bit weird.
Yeah, you can't leave the house without it now, which is a bit depressing.
Yeah.
That's why it's quite nice when you go on holiday and you don't have any data or anything. You
Yeah.
can kind of just put it in your pocket, and then you come back to hotel. But it's worse when you come back to hotel, Wi-Fi connects and like
Yeah.
100 messages,
Yeah.
like, and you just sit there for about an hour in
Yeah.
silence.
One of those is probably me.
Yeah,
Hi
yeah,
Rob, how's your holiday?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
don't know. It's scary because there's a lot of problems come from social and things like that.
mm,
All these like, I don't know, people doing these like weird challenges that lead to someone dying and
yeah.
all this shit. It's worse for younger people. I wouldn't let Harry have a phone, let alone social media, until he's at least, I don't know, what's a good age now? 13
It's,
maybe?
yeah, when they start secondary.
Yeah. Even that's young.
How old were you when you had your phone, your first phone?
I had one of my dad's hand-me-downs from work.
Was
I
it a
think
Nokia?
nah, it was a Motorola, like jockey
Yeah.
and phone. um, yeah, I think got it when I was 15 maybe,
Okay.
15ish, but I had no internet or anything. And if you go on the internet, you're like, shit, get off, because it costs
Yeah.
you like £5 for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I remember the in primary school, I think the girl was the first one to get a phone. She got 3310. So she would have been, what's the last age of secondary school? 10 years old, 11 years old,
Yeah,
something like that.
10. So they're 11 before they go to secondary.
Yeah, yeah. So she had a 3310. And we were just like, oh, great. It doesn't mean anything to us then, because we were just like.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I think if a kid doesn't have a phone, an iPad, a PlayStation, all this shit, they're like a bit of a loser.
Yeah.
Um,
It's hard not to because everything we see is screens. Like
yeah,
Lara,
exactly.
8 months old, and she's already trying to grab my phone. She sees the light and she thinks, "Oh wow!" And then she sees Mila watching on my iPad. She tries to grab it as well. She's trying to
Yeah,
like play with it. I'm like, "Nah, you're too small for that."
yeah, it's scary, isn't it? Because the bright
Yeah,
lights, it's like being in Vegas, just the
yeah,
iPad lights.
man, it was crazy. And like they're like, where Mila quite early on could, I think most kids now anyway, can skip ads like on YouTube. Like she's used on YouTube Kids, which
Mm.
is ad free, thank God. But before she knows the difference between the YouTube Kids app and then just the normal grown up YouTube.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
she'll go on the grown up one. I'm like, what are you doing? And then she'll just skip ads. I'm like, how do you know? She's like, that's an advert. I went, oh, cool. You know what advert is? What the hell? I never taught her what
Yeah,
that is. But I think she must have learned from my cousins.
yeah, because they get frustrated that the advert cuts the video off and stuff.
Yeah,
Harry's like
yeah.
that. I'm like, just wait 6 seconds. What you gotta wait? Um,
Jesus. These
but
are
he's
little
getting.
kids we're talking about.
I know he's nearly there with YouTube Kids. Like he'll have it's like at the bottom, isn't it, on the
Yeah,
iPad, whatever you're
yeah,
scrolling through. He does that really well. Clicks a video. Like,
really.
he's not even two, man. Uh, and he's obsessed with it now. His word for YouTube is Addy. Don't know where he got that from. He
Oh,
says Addy,
Addy.
Addy, Addy, Addy. And I said, Harry, YouTube, and he goes Achoo. I almost.
Oh,
It's just
oh,
Addy, Addy, Addy. Every morning, we take him out his cot, put him in bed. He finishes his milk. Addy. I-
oh.
No. Then he'll just point at the TV. No, nursery, let's go, let's go. We're trying to stop him from watching it, but sometimes he won't even eat if you don't put it on.
Oh,
Sometimes.
bloody yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, eating. It's such a bad habit. Like Mila has to have the iPad in front of her every time she eats. And we tried a few days last week when all 3 kids came over, and then my sister was like, "No TV, no iPad. Let's just eat dinner." And they ate it within like minutes, so quick.
Really? Fair. It can
But
work.
yeah, it can work, but they're just so addicted to it. And like we're talking about social media addiction, like our kids being so young are addicts
Yeah, I know.
already.
It's bad, isn't it? But then you got to wonder where social will be when they're like 15, 16.
Hmm.
Because the way it's going, it's going to all bloody collapse. People hate it.
Yeah.
TikTok's getting banned left, right, and centre. Well, they're
Yeah.
trying to ban it in the US.
Yeah.
Facebook's just. I don't really get Facebook anymore because it's just. I don't really use it.
No.
Cheech uses it to store photos and stuff. Because realistically, where do you put large amounts of photos that you can put on your laptop? Then it just takes up space. Whereas Facebook is
Mm.
like an unlimited sort of space, right? So you just whack all your
Yeah.
photos on there.
Yeah.
Then everyone can see them, which isn't great. Or you
Yeah.
can private, I guess. But you don't really use Facebook for anything else because no one posts anything, and you get some
No.
random videos and stuff. Snapchat's for like 13-year-olds. Like any people I know use that are like really young.
Yeah.
Twitter is good.
Twitter, you use it.
Yeah, but then you got like Elon Musk running it, who's just
Yeah.
Mr. Controversial.
Yeah.
So yeah, who knows where we'll end up? Hopefully, we're not just all robots. It'll be AI social.
Oh God, yeah.
That's going to be the game changer one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's a bit scary because they're saying like AI can basically use your voice to pretend like it's you. They're saying a lot of scams are coming from AI. Like people are calling their loved ones and being like, "Oh, I'm stuck somewhere. Can you give me some money?" And it sounds identical to their voice.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, people have done like videos of I don't know President Biden having a chat with like Xi Jinping over the phone.
Yeah.
It sounds so legit, but you can obviously know it's not legit.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
just and like people have made songs, like by like Drake and people like that, and it genuinely sounds like a really good song. It's trended on Spotify. It was like number in the top 10 in the first day it got released. And this is all the obviously a record label blocked it
Bloody
and
hell.
things like that. But it's
Yeah.
just like, and it was a really good song actually. Oh wow, this is actually like better than what he'd probably normally
Oh,
bring out.
bloody hell.
Um,
Yeah.
but then that's going to be a problem because then other artists who can't write or play music are going to start bringing out shit that AI
Yeah.
has written, and it's going to be like up there with the Beatles, like
Oh, Jesus. Can you imagine?
top level. And then when they get on stage, they can't sing, can't write, can't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a scary world, I think, with technology now. I think looking at like you were talking about like using TikTok and Twitter mostly. I think I use Instagram a lot more. I
Do you use
consume
Reels
it a lot more.
Do you
Huh?
use Reels a lot? Do you go on the Reels bit?
Yeah, quite a bit
Yeah.
now.
That's basically TikTok, isn't it? It's just their TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really addictive. Like you just keep
Mm.
scrolling, like, and the stuff that's relevant to what I see, like about parents and funny parenting stuff that I always share with you. And I'm always sharing reels. I'm like, oh, this is really relevant. Oh, but it's like shit. I've spent like a good half hour whilst just looking at reels.
Yeah, it's bad, isn't it? And I
Yeah.
hate using my phone in front of like Harry and stuff. Like Cheech always says, "Stop using your phone in front of Harry." But I'm like, just got lost on it. I'm just there.
Yeah.
And,
It's hard not to. It's really hard not to. Like when you're out, like if you go out to the pub or you're having like a date with Chi, do you go on your phone?
Not. Yeah, I guess I do. At the pub we do with my mates. We're all on it. But then we're doing things like putting bets on. Like
Yeah.
that's another thing you can do. Put bets on. That's why people
Yeah.
are losing so much money. Or we're checking the football results or
Yeah.
whatever. But then we're all as bad as each other. There's no one. I wouldn't say anyone is good with not using their phone.
Yeah.
Everyone uses it.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
Yes.
Because we never used to have one. Like, as a kid, we used to go out and play on the street. And,
Yeah.
just go on our bikes, go to the park, play footy or whatever.
Yeah.
Now I don't think. Well, you wouldn't let your kids out really. So many.
No, I would not. Yeah. Nah. It doesn't matter how old Mila and Lara gets. I'm always gonna take them to school. Like I can't. Just the thought of like my kid going to school on her own, like nah, can't do it.
Yeah, I think my brother, to be fair, we always used to go to the park when we were younger, even when we were at primary school, just play on the street and stuff.
Yeah.
That sort of age, we were doing that. But I don't think you get away with that now.
No.
You just don't know what's going on. You don't know who's around.
Yeah. I was telling you about that black man that's just lurking around schools. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
So
hell
creepy.
no.
Yeah, it's dodgy as fuck. But that's when the kid needs a phone as well. Because if they are out and about, they need to be able to call you, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then they can't. You just know they'll be using the phone outside.
Yeah. And what if they get mugged?
Yeah, or you give them a shit phone.
Yeah, true.
Doesn't do anything. It's literally
Yeah,
just calls,
true.
and that's it. But then they get bullied for having a shit phone. So
can't win, man. Can't win. Being
No.
a parent is it's difficult.
Yeah, it's a fine line.
Do you think you could survive a whole day without your phone?
Nah, I don't think. Well, I would do it, like just to prove a point. But then I know as soon as that day was over, I'd be like,
Yeah.
straight back on it.
Yeah.
Because when you're on holiday, you can do it. I find it's quite easy on holiday because you kind of zone out a bit.
Yeah.
Especially when you got things to do.
Yeah.
But when it's your day to day, like a normal day, and you're just sort of sitting around, you're working, you've got like an hour or so to kill, or a few minutes. So I'll have a little quick flick on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, here I am 4 hours later, still browsing. Screen time's at like 8 hours. And now I'm just going in the front room and watch bloody TV on a screen.
Yeah.
After being on a laptop all day.
Yeah.
Then I'll go into the bedroom, back on my phone, maybe a TV on in the background. So I've got two screens.
Yeah.
Wake up as soon as first thing I do, phone.
Phone, yeah. Because you've got the alarm on the phone as well.
Yeah, it's just a vicious cycle.
Yeah. So before bed, do you look at your phone? I always do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or TV's on or something.
Yeah. Do you wear glasses? You do, I think.
No.
Oh. Do you not?
2020
Maybe I
vision,
think
me.
you went... Oh, okay.
Yeah. 2020. Maybe we probably will soon. too much phone, square eyes, rectangle eyes.
Yeah. It's tiring looking at the phone all the time.
It is, yeah. I need to put a cap on it, really. But probably won't.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So it's interesting, the topic of social media, because it's just what's going to happen in the next 5 years? Who knows?
Yeah, and like our jobs, mine and Jenny's jobs, are focused around social media. Like we do social media advertising, so we're kind of like we hate it, but we have to do it.
Yeah.
we say, oh, we hate going on social, but it's literally like we're the one pumping all this. We're the one funding it, basically.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. We're responsible for Facebook.
But we don't work for Facebook.
Yeah.
As in, we don't work.
Yet.
Well, I mean, they're sacking a shitload of people, aren't they? So.
Yeah, true. Yeah. They don't really give a shit, do they?
No. Yeah.
Oh, well, on to the next point. So, feminism. I'm going to let you start with this because I feel like you're in a better position than me.
Feminism. Yeah, man, it's quite a big topic because I see feminism as different types of feminists. There are feminists who are sort of, they campaign for sort of women's rights. Things like the fact that women have the right to vote, equal pay, gender equality, and all that. Receiving education, and this not just in the UK, just like globally, right? Like some girls aren't allowed to study or go to school. But there are other extreme feminists that I think are a little bit like too much for what I deem as feminism. I think they hate men.
Yeah.
Those are sort of the extreme feminists, and everything that men do is just like, oh no, that's wrong. All about girl power. I get it. I want to empower women to do whatever they feel that they can, but to an extent, I think we're not saying that we hate men, but there are the extreme feminists that do hate men. And that's what I think is like, okay, that's a little bit too much. So yeah, that's my sort of very sort of brief summary of how I see feminism, and I'm not a feminist. I don't think, like, maybe to an extent, like a small amount, but yeah, I wouldn't go outside like campaigning feminist rights. I'm not like an activist.
Yeah. I guess it's like with any movement, right? There's always going to be one extreme. There's like a left and a right, isn't there?
Yeah,
In the middle.
yeah.
So there's always going to be and then I feel like maybe, well, especially on, I'll go back to social media stuff. A lot of the stuff that gets posted is more of the extreme side. So it drives that sort of hatred of feminism a bit more
Yeah,
than it would the neutral people who are generally just trying to do it for the right reasons
yeah,
of, I don't know, equal pay or
yeah,
better maternity leave
yeah,
things and shit like that. Then you got the extreme ones, like you said, we hate men, blah blah
yeah,
blah. Then you got the other, like, very, well, no, I guess topical side of things, like the transgender movements as well,
yeah,
who are supposedly trying to fight for, well, I guess women's rights or transgender rights. And
yeah.
that's kind of, I feel like that's kind of tarnishing the feminist side of things a little bit as well,
Mm,
because again, that the stuff, only the extreme stuff gets posted on socials and things, and that's what everyone
yep,
sees.
yep,
um and like the things with like the, I don't know, the transgender swimmers and
yeah,
the athletes and sportsmen and stuff, and they
yep,
basically all getting banned from all these sports, but they're
yep,
like complaining that, oh, but I'm a female. Yeah, but okay, in your heart, in your eyes, if you feel that way, fine. But when it comes to physicality, and you're
yeah,
like 6 foot, and all these women are like 5'3", haven't got the same muscle builds as you, it's not a fair comparison because you're just
no,
going to win every time.
yeah,
And then if you played the men, you'd lose by a mile because you're not very
yeah,
good,
yeah,
really.
yeah,
So it's kind of it's a touchy subject, isn't it?
yeah. The whole trans rights and what rights do they have? But it does take away feminism, like you said. It's like,
Yeah.
well, these women, and I say actual women who have a vagina, not a penis. If you have
Mm.
a vagina, you're a woman,
Yeah.
right? Like if you at birth, if you've got a vagina, you're a woman. You're born with a penis, you're a man. Like, we've talked about this before, right? When we talk about
Yeah.
what culture. It's very simple in our heads. Penis, man, vagina, woman. Like, if you know, yeah, there's no in between in my head.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw a good. It's one of these sort of. It was like a rally, a transgender rally, and a guy was like trying to disprove all their points and stuff. How they women. He basically said, if you saw a transgender man saying he's having a miscarriage, what
Yeah.
would you call an ambulance? And they all just went silent because they're like, well, no, because. But then they were like, they didn't know what to do because they were panicked. They were like, shit, no, of course we wouldn't, because
Yeah.
that's like wasting the ambulance's time.
Yeah.
But then they've just been arguing for an hour that trans men, whatever, can have babies, even though they just said, would you waste a doctor's time saying they're having a miscarriage? I don't know.
Oh God.
It's dodgy
That's
as hell, man.
difficult. That is
Yeah,
difficult.
yeah. But then that's just the stuff you see, right? That's what's been
Yeah.
posted on social, and
Yeah.
that's the kind of, I'd say, an extremer side of it. You don't see the
Yeah.
neutral kind of people that don't really partake in this sort of stuff. They generally just
Yeah.
want to live a life that they feel that they deserve, I guess, that they've always felt
Yeah.
that they want to live.
Yeah.
Um, Same for all the feminism stuff, though. They just feel like that's what females deserve. That's what. Same with men's rights. I know it's a bit another touch on it. People won't feel like they think it's a real thing because men are everything, right? That's the
Tell
trend
me
testing.
about that. That was interesting. Like men's rights. Like what we saying?
Uh, the only thing I would rather have more say on, I guess, is the dad side of things. Like
Mm,
if you're a dad, say you got divorced, you broke up, you have
yeah.
basically next to no rights with the kid. The mum
Mm,
gets. I mean, you obviously got to be amicable, and if you're
yeah.
lucky, and obviously the kid does probably have to be with the mum because
Mm.
they're just naturally kids are closer to the mum. Um, it's like the whole
Unless
fathers
the
for justice
mum's
stuff.
not been there for the kid, then.
Yeah. And like, there's the whole fathers for justice stuff as well, right? Because
Mm,
there's a lot of, like, some kids just completely go out of dad's lives.
Yeah.
So I guess there's that side of things. And maybe like paternity leave and pay, like most blokes get 2 weeks and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is pretty shit. I was quite lucky. I think I had 6 weeks in the end.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. That's because you did share parental.
yeah, and I took like 2 weeks holiday and just bolted it all together and stuff.
Yeah.
So it kind of just played the game a bit. But that was, I had to like proper think about that. It wasn't like, oh,
Yeah.
here's 6 months off, full pay or whatever. Which
Yeah.
some places are doing now, I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it just means those jobs have become so sought after for blokes.
Yeah.
I can remember my first place, or one of my earlier agencies I worked at, they used to offer 8 months full pay for men.
Wow.
But you had to have been there a year to get it. And
Right.
the guy who joined, my manager, he joined purely because of that. And his missus
Yeah.
got pregnant before the 12-month point, and they were like, "No, you can't have it. Sorry." So, you missed it by like 2 months. It was raging.
That's annoying.
And then they scrapped it. They got rid of it. They put it that down to like for 2 weeks. Because I think a lot of
Wow.
blokes would just join him purely because of that.
I mean, it's sad that they have to do that, and it's not just
Yeah,
there for them.
yeah. I mean, my one of my first ever internships. It's going back to more of the female side, maternity leave. He said he realistically he's probably never going to hire females at the start because he's a startup. He's like, I'm not going to hire females just because I know they'll could end up going off for like a year. Because for a startup, it's like he just said he's just being realistic. He said it sounds terrible, but if you're a small company, it's actually really difficult when they go off because you got to find a replacement in that time. It's just very time consuming. Whereas a big company, it's a bit more, it's a bit easier, I guess. But I was like, I mean, I get what you're saying, but
Oh, fuck off.
I'm not gonna voice that to anyone. Jesus, this was tiny.
Wow.
There's literally like 5 of us there. So imagine there's 5 of us, and one has to go off for a year. He's got to find a temporary replacement. At a small company, it's never going to be easy.
Yeah, suck it up. I mean, this is the world we're living in now, man. Like, you can't be saying shit like that.
Yeah.
That's full on discrimination.
But he didn't care. He owned it, so he had no HR, so it didn't really matter.
Bloody hell. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, a lot of the things when we're talking about feminism, sexism is linked to that as well. 100%. And I know you'll be like, oh, here we go. She's banging on about women's rights. And to be fair, I mean, you mentioned men's rights, and completely valid about the whole paternity and the dad side of things. But that's, for me, as far as it goes. I can't think of any other men's rights that men would want. And maybe that because obviously I'm going to be biased because I'm a woman and I'm a mum. But the whole sexism thing, man, that pisses me off a lot.
What, as in just getting what, like wolf whistled and
chance would be a fine thing.
You know what I mean?
Mate,
Like,
that happened to me.
Like getting catcalled in the street and like, I don't know, just blokes just being too blokey.
Well, obviously I'm not talking about me because I've never been more whistled in my life.
We'll pass the building site and see what happens.
Yeah, no, that won't happen either. Yeah, I mean, that probably still does happen, and we're talking about a lot of girls who get harassed, sexually abused, and raped, and all that stuff. That's deep, man. The whole sexism thing is just simple things like if you're at work or in the office, like men doing sort of like banter jokes about certain things. I remember like when I came back from maternity the first time round, and someone said to me, "Oh, you're gonna come back to work for a year and then you'll bang out a second one anyways." It's like, well,
fucking hell.
I don't think you should be saying that to me. And at the time, I was thinking like, maybe should I have reported it? Maybe I should have. So you can't say that shit, man. That's
Was he an older gentleman or
no?
Pretty young, was he?
Younger than me, and a man.
That's bad, isn't it? I
mean, it's like, wow.
Right? I feel like that's something you could say to someone. I could probably maybe get away with saying that to you.
You can,
it'd be so tongue in cheek, and I'd be like, "I'm joking."
Like,
Then you probably give me something back. That'd be like probably equally as rude. But it's like because we're at that level, it's fine. If this was someone who's not, you're not at that level with, just
no, not at all.
Know your audience, man.
Yeah, and this guy was just like, wow. And there's there's other things when it comes to sort of women being pregnant and what not to say to them. It's not even being woke. It's like you just don't say certain things to mums who have just come back from mat leave, who are already, hormonal and sort of like nervous about leaving their child and stuff. You just, it's certain things you just don't say. And just other sexist things, like when you clearly see that the sort of, I think every company that I've worked at, there's always been sort of like a big boys club. It's always just, boys going out, having a drink, or they'll just go out for a smoke. Even if they don't smoke, all the lads will go outside the office for a bit.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what happened? Like, what is this culture?
Yeah, I guess it's. I mean, personally, I've not really had that since I've been working in our industry. It's very female dominated, our industry, I'd say, more so than it used to be.
Yeah.
And like when you do find the one guy who's like sound, you do latch onto him. Like I'm still friends with him now, the guys that I was friends with.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of girl mates as well, to be fair. Got on
Yeah.
with a lot of people. Yeah, I don't know. That boys club didn't really exist for me, but I can see where it would have come from, especially at the top levels,
Yeah.
because they are
Yeah.
like pally, and a lot
Yep.
of them are blokes.
Yeah.
Um,
But I can't imagine you being part of a clique at work. It's just not like your personality isn't. You don't follow. Like, and you
uh,
can't be asked anyways, right?
yeah, I mean, if they're acting in a certain way, I probably just wouldn't want to go near it because it'd just be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to run that risk of pissing people
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
I'm all for the bants, obviously, but
Yeah.
I'll do it with my own mates at home, where
Yeah.
there's literally
Yeah.
no filter,
Yeah.
and we can just kind of act like dickheads, but we're
Yeah.
not offending anyone because we're just doing it in our little group.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
not going to go out shouting abuse at people and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, the more I think about feminism, because obviously I've got two girls and I want to do everything I can to protect them as females, and you've got a boy. I'm sure you obviously, regardless of whether they're a boy or girl, we still want to protect our kids. But with girls, like we were chatting about this before, right? Like if you were to have a girl, a baby girl, like how would that make you feel? You'd be like, oh shit, no. You start to think about loads of things like, I don't want her to meet boys. I don't want her to go out late at night. I don't want her to wear certain clothes. Whereas with boys, you don't really have that mentality, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess when they get to that age, that's when you find out, right? But yeah, I can imagine I wouldn't be too bothered about Harry going out, and if he wants to bring a girl back, whatever, innit?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then if I had a daughter and she brought a bloke back, like, it's World War III. Here we go.
See, that's exactly it. It's like, is that the right way of thinking? I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like you'd be like that as well.
Me.
Per se, Mila was like 19 years old. She's come from back for a night out. Here's some bloke chatting downstairs. You kick off. Whereas if you had a son, you probably would be a bit more annoyed, but you'd be like, nah.
With Simon, it's very clear that he does not want me or Lara to meet any boys until they're like 30, 40.
Yeah.
I don't know, if I had a boy, I don't know. I would obviously like to think that he was a mummy's boy, but I'll still feel very the same. I would still protect him. Be like, nah, you're not meeting any girls. Your mummy's going to be your only girl in your life.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's different. I obviously don't have a boy, so I don't know. But I feel like that's how I would take it.
Yeah. I guess we don't know until we cross that bridge, right?
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen. Just two girls.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember what my parents were like, me and my brother. They're pretty lenient, to be fair. They didn't really care about things. They're just sort of pretty happy-go-lucky. As long as we're happy, they're happy, sort of thing.
Yeah. Is it because you and your brother, you were really like well behaved?
Nah, we used to fight all the time and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, when I went to uni at like 19, that's kind of it really for 3 years.
Yeah.
Came back for a bit, then I met Cheech like a year later, moved back out again.
Yeah.
And that was that. Yeah, I don't know.
Is Chi a feminist?
Yes. She will argue to the high heels for feminism. If I say anything against anything like related to that, it's a slap. Well, that's anti. Don't know. What's the male version of feminism? Maleism? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, is that everything? Probably because no one's bothered trying.
Yeah, no one's
Because
bothered because
all
it
of them
doesn't
just kick
exist.
off. All of them
Yeah.
just kick off. Yeah, fucking maleism.
What example can you give?
She's an advocate for just the standard stuff like gender pay cap. Like for example, she had at her old place, she had there's someone in the same position as her, literally the same position, and there was quite a big gap in salary between her and this
Yeah.
guy, and they literally
Yeah.
did the same job, and she only found out when she left, and she was really upset about that because there was no reason for it. Why
Yeah.
is there such a big gap? It's literally because he's a bloke, so which was shit. But
I just don't understand how gender pay gap even came about.
I know
Like,
I wouldn't if I was at that level dishing out wages. It wouldn't even cross my mind that Jenny's a girl. She's not going to get as much as
yeah,
so and so. Just I don't know. It's just odd.
really odd. And then you get these the companies that where we're working, or every company probably talking about gender equality, gender pay gap. Like, why are we even having this conversation? Just fucking pay them
Yeah.
equally.
Yeah, and they said I saw one. It's like they did like a yearly presentation. They said, "Oh, our gender pay gap has reduced by this percentage." Why don't you just even it out?
Yeah.
Why is it reduced by this amount and still not equal?
Yeah.
Just make it equal. It's so weird. It's like they'd have to get rid of people before it. I don't know. It's odd. Really
Yeah.
odd.
I don't get it. And if anything, women should get paid more. Just saying, right? I'm just saying. Think about the things that we as women have to do. Sorry, mothers have to do.
Yeah, that's a personal thing, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, so do you not agree that women should get paid more than men?
I think it should be equal. I don't see why.
Okay.
If you're doing the same job, it depends on the job, right? But if you're doing we're doing the same job.
Yeah.
It should be equal pay, and we're doing the same amount of effort, same amount of whatever. It should just purely
It's
be
never going to be the same amount of effort.
Nah, let's be honest.
Let's be honest now.
Yeah. What about playing the game?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a touchy one, isn't it? It's a touchy subject.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will cross this bridge, I'm sure, again further down the line. We talk about more isms.
Yep.
But yeah, let us know if you've experienced any discrimination before, or if you, I don't know, if you are an advocate of feminism, or you just feel like it's going in the wrong direction, or it's a bit too extreme at the moment. And yeah, same for the social media side of things. Send us your screenshots of what your average daily usage is. What's your most used app? Do you use social media? I'm sure everyone does here. Especially if realistically, if you watch this or listen to this pod, you use social media because you would have found it through Instagram or YouTube. Yeah, so let us know, and we will see you next week where we will be discussing kids' parties because it's Jenny's kid's birthday next week. Oi, oi. Birthdays and bad behaviour. So yeah, we will be back and we will see you next Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.